I know people that are re-rolling from Evoker because they don't want to play Augmentation. Yeah. Yeah. I know people. I'm people. That's me. Although I'll probably end up just playing it because it's overpowered, but if it stays like this, I'm out. Like, I'm done. The Evoker experiment was fun, but like it just isn't for me. Hello again, this is Preheat. Welcome back to another World of Warcraft video. Today we're going to be recapping the nerfs coming to Augmentation soon in 10.2. If you like this video, as always, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of my content, be sure to subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell, and hopefully I see it in the next one. Wait, are there nerfs? Hold on. Don't get my hopes up. Okay, hold on. Let's see what these are. We actually have some nerfs. Wait. This is like nothing though. They didn't do anything. Developers note, Augmentation's contributions to the party, particularly in Mythic Plus, are too impactful and they're making it difficult for other compositions to shine. As a result, we're doing some targeted nerfs to the group utility by reducing the value of Aspect's Favor, Molten Blood, and Ebon Might. That sounds good on paper. Let's see what they're actually doing. So Aspect's Favor increases maximum health by 2 to 4%, which it used to be 6%. So instead of 4% plus 6%, now it's going to be 4 plus 4, so it's 8%. I mean, this doesn't matter. Like, it literally doesn't matter. You're still increasing their health by 8% versus 0, which is what every other class does. It's irrelevant. I really don't think this change is going to, like, I don't think this does anything at all, to be honest with you. 2% off Ebon Might is big, right? So let's look. Here's a log. Here's an Evoker doing 214k on Sarkrath. Let's look at how much they would be doing with this nerf. So let's nerf Ebon Might by 20%. That's going to be 6% less. So we're going to divide this by their total damage. It's a 6% nerf. That's nothing. Like, you're still top damage. This changes nothing. It's a 6% nerf. The class that's ahead of every other class by 30% is getting a 6% nerf. Numerically, it's like, what, 20% nerf to their Aspect's Favor? They're still increasing the intelligence of the healer. That's nerfed by 20%. But yeah, nothing changes. They're still meta. At least they're like nudging it in the right direction, but it is literally a nudge. Like, this doesn't change anything at all. We're still early, but like, they took 3 weeks to come out with this. Literally, if they doubled the amount of nerfs, it still would be less than they actually need. I know that they're doing these nerfs to like see if it changes anything. Like, it's very obvious that they're doing like an incremental approach to their nerfs, but they need to go further with it or else they're going to run out of time. If you're moving this slow and you're doing like these tiny baby nerfs every time, by the time you finally nerf it by how much it needs to be nerfed, it's going to be too late. The tier's already going to be over. That's my prediction right now. So based on what I've seen, my new prediction for 10.2 is that Augmentation will finally eventually be nerfed by the time farm ends. By the time we're going into patch 10.3. That's my new prediction, if there is a 10.3. I don't think I've ever been in a position before where I'm like asking to be nerfed more. Like, where I'm like mad that they didn't nerf me more. It's like so bizarre to me though that the one time that like that Blizzard's like letting the class be like egregiously overpowered and just like not nerfing as much as it should, also happens to be the one time that I and other players just aren't enjoying it and like want it to be nerfed. It's so funny. Dude, there's no other situation where you're like, please nerf my class. I'm tired of playing this class. Please nerf it. It literally doesn't happen. I still have yet to talk to anyone who actually raids Mythic every week who says, you know what? I really hope they don't nerf Augmentation. I want to play Augmentation more than anything else. I don't know if that person exists. I'm sure they're out there though. I'm sure someone's actually loving it, but you can't tell me with a straight face that's not overpowered. You can't. They're saying the right words. Their head's in the right place. They just need to, bring it wider. They need to cast a wider net. So it shouldn't just be Aspect's Favor and Molten Blood. It should be all the things that they listed, and it should be Sands. Right? That's your mastery, the versatility buff. And also the nerf should be way more. Like, this is not enough of a nerf because other classes don't bring anything like Aspect's Favor. This being reduced by 2%. So you're going to be giving people 8% health whenever you press your button, and they're going to be sitting at 4% natively. It's not really a big difference, to be honest. Molten Blood, absorption. I mean, this is a big deal. Like 50%, that's a lot. It's still like pretty good, but I think you'll just play the other talent now, probably. This will still find use though in high keys. But I think generally speaking, you probably just like don't even worry about it now, if that's the case. I mean, the big benefit of the shield is the fact that it gives like people any effective health extra. It'll definitely still be really, really useful. Most of the time you put the shield on people who have full health though. So I don't really think this changes all that much. Like it is definitely a big nerf. On me though, it's still 90k extra, right? Like, and I'm able to put that on a random person. So that's still pretty big. And then Ebon Might grants 8% of the Evoker's primary stat was 10%. So this is a 20% nerf. So what we were looking at before is how much damage Evokers are doing like right now in live in raids. And this is just with 2 Evokers, right? So we aren't even looking like the most egregious examples. Let's look at a actually egregious example. Let's look at what you can do and what you will do in the next patch if you're really min-maxing, yeah? So this is more of what we're going to see in the next patch. Right here. See, these Augmentation Evokers are doing 200k, 180k, right? This is a very large number. This is too much. They're doing too much, right? And a lot of it's coming from the buffs. Ebon Might. So Ebon Might's 30% of their damage. So it's going to be a 20% nerf to this, right? So you can just subtract 6%. So this is a 6% nerf to their damage. So 6% nerf to 203k. I'm gonna let you know right now, this isn't enough to make this person not the top DPS. Okay, so here's their damage. And then we're gonna give them a 6% nerf. Now they're doing 191k. Yeah, I mean, they're still 40k above the next person. Or I guess 30k in this case. They need to double it. They need to double it, and they need to also nerf Shifting Sands by the same amount. And then we're talking. So nerf Ebon Might by another 20%, so it's at 40%. Nerf Shifting Sands by a flat 40%. And they're still overpowered, but at least they're like not as overpowered. They're like kind of balanced at that point. But you'll still run them. I mean, you still run 4, even with those nerfs. That's the crazy part. Even with those nerfs, they're still better than every other class. And the proposed nerfs I just listed are way less than what they actually did. They can't balance this class. This is what we were saying from the start, right? Listen to any content creator who was talking about this before the class came out. Everyone was saying the same thing. This class is going to be either broken or it's going to be useless, and it's going to be impossible to balance. They're definitely going to keep nudging it though until it's balanced, but this is the rate at which they're doing this is too slow. So unless we have like another Aug nerf like next week, I'm ready to say that it's probably lost. Like just prepare to play Aug. Prepare to stack Augs, actually. Honestly, at this point, just rework it. Yeah, I mean, I get where you're coming from. The thing is like realistically speaking, that's not going to happen. At least not until like next expansion. So I think they need to be just really aggressive with their nerfs. They need to over nerf it, and then they can come back from that. Like over nerf it and then bring it back up from where it's over nerfed. That's the winning strategy. Right now, they're like afraid to nerf it enough, so they keep like nudging it. It's not even close to enough. And it's taking too long. They're not going to get it where it needs to be. They've nerfed it small amounts so many fucking times. The class is overperforming by a lot. It's like 30% ahead of the next DPS. It's way too far ahead of that. Especially for being as easy it is, especially for being as tanky as it is, especially for bringing the utility that it brings, especially for providing the defensive benefits it brings. It is just way too fucking good. Across the board. It should be last in DPS, straight up. This class should not be the top. Aug is 100% locked in still. Nothing's going to change. You still run Aug in every high key. No question. That is an Aug slot. Why not make Ebon Might only affect 2 people with prescience? Yeah, I mean, so like they actually made it worse because they made it so you can have 3 prescience now. One way that they could nerf it is just by making it so that you can only put Ebon Might on 2 targets. They could do that. The only thing is I don't really like that. I don't like how the prescience stuff is working, and I don't like the direction they're taking it. I think they're doing like the exact opposite with it that they should be. Like they're making it so that you have more control over who all the targets are, but it's like it's more chores that you have to do. It's like more having to like regulate exactly who you're putting the buffs on at every moment. And that's just like not fun, especially since The range is the most frustrating thing about it. Like, you're just always out of range of the people you're trying to buff. You can hit the boss and the melee can be between you and the boss, and you can't hit the melee because the boss's hitbox is big and the melee has a normal hitbox and you're out of their range, even though you're in range of the boss. That's just stupid. Like, pressing should just be a longer range. But I stand by that all of their buffs are just too good. Like, they just need to cut down the buffs. Keep everything else the same, cut the buffs by about 40%. They did 20%, double that, and make it hit all the buffs. And it would still be meta. I'm gonna just let you know right now, even with my proposed changes, 40% nerf to all the buffs, it's still meta. But at least you wouldn't stack like 6 of them in your raid.